Walker versus Warnock.
We are going to win.
Power outage drags on.
Stringing power cords, eating cold ham.
Raising a glass to an Emmy-winning actress.
Hey, everybody, guess what? We got married!
Good morning. I'm Steve Kathan with the CBS World News Roundup. A month after Election Day, it's round two, the runoff in Georgia to decide who serves in the U.S. Senate. Democratic incumbent Raphael Warnock or Republican Herschel Walker. CBS's Nicole Killian reports on the final push for support.
I'm ready.
After weeks in overtime, it's Election Day again in Georgia.
So let's carry this thing all the way to the finish line.
The campaigning,
So let's go warn out some doors.
canvassing,
This is Herschel Walker.
and polling all comes down to this.
I want you to vote. Get out and vote, vote, vote.
At this Atlanta area diner, voters say they're finally ready to see what today's runoff will serve.
I feel like things are a toss-up. It could go either way.
The Democrats have control already, but just getting another voice in there, Republican voice, so I'm for that.
Now to North Carolina, CBS's Mark Strassman has the latest on the effort to restore power after two substations were shot up and disabled in one county over the weekend.
Traffic lights are out, generators are on, and people in Moore County, North Carolina feel challenged by crisis.
It's devastating.
What's the temperature in the house? Right now it's probably about 55.
Steve and Meg Wilkins are bracing for another uncomfortable night.
Pick you up? Absolutely. This is not what I wanted to be doing today, trying to live by flashlights in the evening.
Roughly 35,000 customers are without power and will be for most of the week until crews repair and replace equipment. The U.S. has 55,000 substations. Earlier this year, 60 Minutes profiled how lightly protected and vulnerable they often are.
There's a very few number of substations you need to take out in the entire United States to knock out the entire grid.
Taking out fewer than 20 critical substations all at once could black out the entire country, the way Moore County looks today.
Overseas, power and water are the targets in Ukraine as Russia steps up its cold weather attacks. CBS's Imtiaz Tayeb.
It was a frenzied attack on cities and towns across Ukraine. But Moscow's assault might have been far worse, were it not for Ukrainian missile defense forces shooting most of the missiles out of the sky.
Yes, come back.
But that's small comfort for those who paid the ultimate price, including Olha Trosina's two neighbors. They were seeing off their son and daughter-in-law, she says. They went outside to wave goodbye, and they were killed. Russia has ruthlessly been targeting Ukraine's energy grid. In Kherson, volunteers now have little choice but to cook meals over open fires so that people have something hot to eat.
A new fire at a Russian airport's been blamed on a Ukrainian drone strike. There were two others at air bases yesterday. Ukraine has not confirmed its forces carried out the attacks. Nearly 2 years after the January 6th attack, law enforcement officers who defended the U.S. Capitol will be honored at a ceremony today. Here's CBS's Scott McFarland.
Capitol Police Officer Shay Cooney says not a day goes by she doesn't recall January 6th.
You can see the anger. You can see the hostility.
Capitol Police Lieutenant Ted Hopkins first tried to stop the mob in the Capitol Visitors Center before racing to the U.S. House chamber after rioters sought to breach the door of the Speaker's lobby.
It's important to relate how bad it really was. The verbal abuse from the actual physical assaults to the chemicals.
Congress passed formal legislation to bestow medals to the police agencies present, making it a special day not just for the officers who saved the Capitol, but their families too.
I mean, obviously the worst day of his life, but without a doubt the worst day of our life.
Kathleen Doby Call says her son, a 5-year Capitol officer, still works for the agency, but rarely speaks about January 6th and likely carries trauma from it. Today, she says she'll be beaming with pride.
He's very humble. He doesn't like to be called a hero, but he's my hero.
It's 4 minutes after the hour.
This hour's newscast is presented by Rocket Mortgage.
Well, that's today's news. I didn't hear any good news, did you? I didn't think so. I guess it's all about perspective. The glass is half full. Well, as always, I'd like to thank you again for coming along with me on these Dash Cam News adventures. You know the drill. Peace, love, and all that hippie jazz. Bye-bye, everybody.